What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another toy review. And real quick, before we go too far into this, I just wanted to say I apologize for a lack of content lately. Frankly, it's been kind of dry on the Transformers side of things right now. Nothing new's really come out, nothing super exciting. So I don't know what you guys really want to see. If you want to leave a comment down here, tell me what you guys would like to see. Do you want me to do old third-party, like G1 reviews, or other just random Transformer reviews, GoBots, or just keep doing whatever pops up in front of me and kind of enjoying it? I also say I did have a Wei Zhang Megatron review and a Perfect Effect Optimal Optimus Prime review that was shot and ready to be edited, and then the memory card on my camera died. So unfortunately I cannot put those up because they weren't mine. I was borrowing them, and that stinks. So that's kind of why I haven't really been doing too much lately, and yeah, just let me know what you guys want. So today we're going to take a look at the Dragon Stars Dragon Ball Super action figures. You can find these at like Walgreens, I think like Electronics Boutique, showing my age, GameStop, places like that. So my goal with this line is to pick up the characters or versions of the characters that just aren't represented in Figuarts, and if they ever get represented in Figuarts, so be it. So the first one I picked up was Trunks, and I couldn't find Hit anywhere. I had to order him offline. And this is the second wave, I believe, and there's also a Super Saiyan Blue Goku in this wave, and you get, you know, half of merged Zamasu. You get the two legs and the arm on the next wave. I obviously just ordered the Build-A-Figure parts off eBay because I don't really care about another Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And sadly, I think a later line I'm going to have to get a bunch of characters I don't care about just because of the Build-A-Figure. But if you guys are interested in these, you know, if you like them, let me know. I'll be happy to review the later waves. We'll go from there. But here's Zamasu. He's pretty awesome. He came, the arm, I think it was just the arm and the hands. The arm and the torso, I think, came with Goku. No, this part came with Goku. This came with Hit, and the head came with Trunks, I believe. You get an extra hand with him. But he's looking really nice. The sculpting is awesome, and I honestly think that this would fit in right on a Figuarts shelf. Like, all the joints are pretty well hidden. Like, you do have these pin joints here, which is a thing on the whole line. But honestly, I mean, like, you got the same shoulders, but the way the top is sculpted, it's pretty nice. And for articulation, you get a pretty decent amount. He's not going to lift his arm above his head, but, like, honestly, he does what I need him to do as Zamasu. I do hope, I don't think it's going to happen given the purple face, but I really would have liked to have just another regular hand to slap on the other side. But whatever, can't be too choosy. So let's talk about Trunks first. I picked up Trunks first to check out the line, and obviously this is Dragon Ball Super Trunks in his like more older future costume. Hate that you have to have a little tattoo on the leg there. Like the little rip detail here. It's not necessarily the most convincing, but it works, and you know, they added the extra paint that it needed, so I can't really complain. You get a rip here, and you can see his green shirt underneath, and I mean, it's the same green they used for the belt and stuff. I'm not really sure if that's accurate, but I mean, I'll give it to him. The thing that stands out to me about this as opposed to a Figuarts is like this is much more like blunted, and the paint on the hair is just definitely not as high quality, but all things considered, like the head sculpt and stuff is not bad. Articulation on these guys, the head is on like a ball joint, but you're not really getting much up and down out of it. It's really only good for a side to side. You can see the sword is just pegged into the back here. We'll get to that in a minute. You do have the swivel here and a swivel at the shoulder, so you get a good range. You get the bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow, which can be a little hard to articulate on some of them. The wrist here works just fine. The waist down here, no real ab crunch. Like, it's a ball joint, I think, but like obviously it's not sculpted in such a way to allow too much motion down there. Legs here are on ball joints, and unfortunately you don't get too much side to side out of it, but that's okay. There is a swivel up here, so I guess if you really want, you can kind of work it around, but it's just going to look a little silly. The knee, double jointed here. Pretty good range of motion, but the knee sculpt definitely doesn't look very good. But that's kind of a problem when you have pants like this, I guess. It just kind of looks like he ripped his pants and doesn't have a knee. Yeah, coming down to the leg here. The foot is obviously on a rotation, and you can see in there, it's working against itself here. There is a swivel on it. You can see it in there, but since that ball joint is moving, like it changes whether it's like a toe tilt or an ankle swivel, depending on where, you know, each of the rotations are. So, I mean, overall, it's fine. I like that it works as an ankle swivel or, you know, a toe tilt. Well, not really a toe tilt. It's more like a whole foot tilt. But it works. He comes with the sword in the sheath. He comes with the two kind of like open hands doing like his branding attack. Two holding hands. One is on, obviously, for the sword, and then the two fist hands. And he comes with another sword, and that's because this is so stupidly done that you can't take the sword out of here. Try as you might, it's not coming out. I don't think it would have been a problem to go ahead and make this semi-hollow or something like that so you could put this sword in. I mean, I get it. It looks better when it's like this, but you should have done what Figuarts did and just let this be like a stub of a sword that plugged in. And I'll pull out the Figuarts to show you, but as a result, he just kind of ends up having two swords here. Now, I will say, on a shelf with Goku, I don't think that this guy looks bad at all with a Figuarts Goku, but when I pulled out the Figuarts Trunks, I was really surprised at how small Trunks is, which, let me pull out Goku here too. Maybe start feeling like this Trunks is honestly the wrong size. I mean, look how tiny he is compared to Goku. Now, I guess you could argue like this is teen Trunks and this is probably like 20-year-old Trunks, something like that. I don't know. So I guess he could be smaller. And here's the example of the sword. It's just like a little stub, and then Figuarts gave you the whole other sword so you could replace it if you wanted to. So here we go. We'll put our little teen Trunks here. This is when he was a kid. This is the Super Saga, obviously. And then after the Super Saga, presumably he went on to be Xenoverse Trunks. So you kind of can see that the size is not that wrong. He's a little more bulky, like thicker arms, thicker torso, thicker legs than your like Xenoverse Trunks. But the height is pretty close. He's a little bit taller than Xenoverse Trunks. But ultimately, I feel like he works when standing next to, you know, your Super Saiyan God Goku from Figuarts. So that's enough about Trunks. Let's get into the real reason I was interested in this line, and that is hit, because Figuarts has not done a hit. As far as I know, there's no scheduled hit coming out, so for now, this guy's gonna have to do as my hit of choice. And I really like this guy. He has kind of like a rubber, like you got those rubberized pieces on old like 80s and 90s toys. Like it's definitely the same type of thing. It's just a rubber here. It does move fairly freely. I would be careful of it, but I mean, Hint's not the type of character you need to be super dynamic with. You can see the ball joint in here, same type of system. The double jointed knee in here. No boot swivel, but you do have the foot swivel, and once again, if you work it, you can get those rockers to move around, I believe, to make it like an ankle tilt versus the foot swivel like that. The arm, not terribly pretty up here, but you can see that full range of motion you can get on the joint. Gets his arm all the way up, and of course, you could rotate it around to go all the way the other way. Bicep swivel being a standard thing. Elbow swivel, it did take me a little bit of tries to get the backward part of the elbow to articulate, but it works just fine. The hands are on a ball joint here, swivel, and then the swivel around here, and they just pull off the ball joint if you want to swap out the hands. And Hit comes with 2 hands. He comes with like the open grippy hand and the closed fist hands. So he's not holding anything. So my Hit just stays with 2 fists. Just like so. So the only problem that I have with Hit is, again, the only problem I really have with Hit is because the way the collar is sculpted and it's hard plastic, you really don't get too much left and right out of his face before it starts rubbing on his collar. And I think it looks fine. I just worry that in time that's not going to hold up if you do too much with it. So I only try to put it here and not like friction it any further. So it really limits his head to this. Overall, I think the sculpting looks pretty good. I don't remember if he had any extra ear details or not. The eyes look fantastic on Hit. I mean, the overall look of Hit to me is just fine. I do wish that there was like pockets or something to, you know, pop off his fists and just put his hands in his pockets, but I mean, that's not bad. I think he looks good. And with the Super Saiyan Blue Goku figure arts, like, I think it's a perfect stand-in for figure arts Hit until we get one, if we get one. So yeah, that's just a quick review for this week. I have a couple more things that I want to review Transformers-wise that have been sent to me as a gift. So I'd like to get that one done. So hopefully you'll see that next week. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some more interesting things to review. And like I said, leave comments in the comments below. Let me know what you guys want to see while we're in a drought and there's really nothing new. You want to see old stuff? You want to see, you know, GoBots? You want to just keep going on with whatever crosses my path? Like, what do you guys want? Let me know because I would like to accommodate. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next week.